the other thing in super, super duper synchronicity land, not very long before that, I had kind of gotten to being more part of the Mercury Black's whole sorting myself out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been really struggling with trying to figure out what I was trying to figure out, like trying to figure out what my problem with it all was. And I hated that. And like, it was like there's a restlessness to it that I couldn't quite shake. And Mercury is an interesting character. For me, he's like, when he's available, because he has his up and down times, he's somebody with zero dissidence. And like, it almost scares me to talk to him because I see how clarifying that can be. But I really, really wanted to, and I couldn't get the bug out of my brain. So I ended up talking with him, and I don't talk with him one-on-one that often. I wait till he's in chat or doing a thing, and he did some really nice Zoom events, kickoff of COVID, because he just had this different understanding of what it's like to be in isolation. And he was like, oh, if people aren't wanting to do that, like, it was great. It was really great. I think he played to his strengths doing that. But anyway, talked to him one-on-one one time, and I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to figure out. And we went into it about belief a little bit. And then he's like, and this is paraphrasing because I didn't write it down at the time. He said to me, well, the way I see it, it comes down to 2 points. Either you believe all the pain, suffering, and horror in the world is worth it for existence to exist, or you don't believe that and you want vengeance on being. And it's a kicker because we get wrapped up in like the Christ, God, are you Christian, are you not Christian thing? But that is more what my problem was. I didn't know if it had been worth it for existence to exist. And then like, so now in a sense, like I know I believe, but I don't know that I believe what Christians believe, but I know that I have that faith. I always had that. Like even on my doubtiest doubter day, never thought we should just implode all of existence. Like, so I found that interesting, and I thought that was something worthwhile of the channel. And I've kind of quit bothering myself about defining myself. Like, it's just kind of boring now. I know that I'm acting on my convictions, and I'm just not stressing. And it's just better. Like, and also, in really, really weird things, when I went to that Pentecostal church was not long after I had just had this conversation with Mercury Black, which, if you don't know, he's a bipolar guy who calls himself a wizard. Guess what the pastor's last name is at the Pentecostal church? Black. Which just is like, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you for that. That was, I really appreciate that. I mean, you're just very honest, and your candor is helpful and refreshing. So
Yeah, that's about what I'm good at. So
no, you're good at
I'm glad
art
you
too.
like it, because there's plenty of people who don't, and then it's like,
why don't you think people don't like it?
I think it makes people scared.
Scared of what?
Well, if you haven't reviewed where you are, and then you find out that someone else has, then like it's like it's like peeling the skin off the world. Which is why, like, I really like talking to Mercury Black, because he's not bothering to pretend there's any skin at all.
No.
But if you don't like to think about that, it's quite disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
so
that I like how you put it. No skin on the world. I mean, Mercury with his, with his life, and anybody who doesn't know Mercury, is he and Grizz was on the channel not too long ago, are now running the Sorting Myself Out channel. and you know, it doesn't surprise me that you've settled, at least for now, on a church that gets very real with drug addicts. I mean, because that, how can I say this?
Well, I think they have a clarity of the hazard. That's the thing about like COVID, people were really wrapped up of everybody getting sick,
Yeah,
but there's a clarity to the fact there are other hazards,
yeah,
and like it would have been much more detrimental. And it's not like nobody's gotten sick. It's not
yeah,
like the no contact hasn't affected people.
yeah,
It's just been worth the risk the whole time for
yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, one of the things that I often struggle with how to put into words and to convey to my congregation is that I noticed this, especially moving back to the United States after my years in the Dominican Republic, that there is sort of a low frequency propaganda that is exuded in the subtext of, it's often in the commercial advertising, it's in the
Is it
political,
low frequency, Paul?
well, I don't
Or is
know,
it
it's
or is
just,
it pretty
yeah, that might be it. Well, I think people hear it in different levels because it's sort of, it's sort of a, it sort of puts you to sleep, and it gives you kind of a nice dream that suggests a very sweet but in the end cruel lie that it's exactly the drug addicts and people like Mercury who, you know, their life simply can't afford that lie, and so they know it. And there are many people who can't afford the lie, but there's enough of it in the culture that to talk about it doesn't necessarily, people who are enchanted, the enchantment isn't easy to break, the spell isn't easy to break, and so no, I think, and again, that's one of the gifts that Mercury has, that when you've got when you have very little left to lose,
Yeah.
you just don't, you just don't play certain games. So
Well, and I think those are the people that, given the algorithms don't betray us all, should excel in this space.
yeah,
Because when you have the affordance that this can be really your life, you really have something to give to people.
yeah, yeah,
But that's rare and it's hard.
yeah, yeah.